Alright, so how? What is a way to methodically dance through life while at the same time being philanthropic? Stay till the end to find out. Welcome to the news. Yeah, so we've just got an interesting approach to fashion today to try to add value to the fashion world today by being able to focus a little bit on shoes and the development of a new shoe product, which in essence connects with rollerblades. Connecting a shoe line with rollerblades in essence by just sort of redesigning the element of rollerblades so that in essence we have sort of a new shoe line in mind that's sort of a trendy, interesting boot, that's an interesting, fun and interesting, trendy boot with multiple different colors that could also be conceivably a little bit waterproof so that in essence it's also as a boot semi-possible to be able to play a little bit harder than usual, and you can go into water and be able to endure a few elements that might be a little bit more uncomfortable for most shoes to be able to endure. So ultimately it's more of a heavy-duty type of a shoe, and that therefore also makes it viable and justifiable to be able to charge a little bit higher of a price for this shoe, for example, but at the same time, because it's also a durable shoe, it's an efficient and functional shoe for a long-term process and such things, similar to an ice skate, yeah! But also at the same time, we're going to talk about adding the facilities to be able to functionally allow for rollerblades to be able to fit inside of these shoes in the bottom of them, so they're kind of like boots, but in the bottom part of the sole of the boots there's a little bit of a hollowed out space so that in essence you can take just the frame of a rollerblade, just the frame of a rollerblade, and you can click it into place. A sturdy, functional, solid, similar to roller hockey, like people that actually play roller hockey, those type of rollerblades, type of a chassis, and be able to strap those in and strap those on to what are similar to ice skates in terms of durability, in terms of the boots. So the boots themselves are meant to be super durable, super weatherable, super functional, to be able to wear them around like normal boots, so that in essence you have that ability to be able to also go in between rollerblade mode and also regular shoe mode. And again, different colors. We want some different colors and some different variety in terms of stylization, style potential, to be able to vary that, and at the same time we want to functionally be able to transition back into rollerblades so that people have the ability to transition back into getting up and going someplace in a quick fashion, going somewhere fast, because ultimately it's hard to ignore the nature of what rollerblades have to offer. What rollerblades have to offer people in a typical sense is a way to dance through life in a similar arrangement to what a figure skating performance does, more or less. If everybody in the world was able to get together and be able to functionally use rollerblades in this fashion, so that in essence they first had to realize the potential of rollerblades, they first had to realize how it is to use rollerblades, they first had to realize how conceivably useful rollerblades are versus just walking. It is a significant multiple times returns on the walking speed in terms of rollerblading. It's a significant improvement. Most people have never ice skated before, and a lot of people that like to rollerblade have ice skated before, and they sometimes go from ice skating and transitioning to rollerblades, but a lot of people don't necessarily rollerblade all the time. So nonetheless, you don't have to ice skate, but just to get the idea and the sensation of how efficient rollerblading is in comparison to walking, it's a significant turnaround in terms of a time return in speed and efficiency for getting from one place to another. And in addition, they are lightweight conceivably. If the boots themselves are similar to ice skate boots, which are typically pretty lightweight, because ice skates I think are a little bit lighter than rollerblades, typically speaking. So if we have that conceptual mindset to be able to make a lightweight boot and a lightweight boot structure with efficient materials inside ultimately, then we have the ability to strap on the chassis for a rollerblade to be able to similarly just be able to strap it in to be able to get up and go. And then when you click out of them, when you're able to step out of that boot, when you want to go back into boot mode and just walking mode in essence, you can then take off the chassis very easily with the click of a button and be able to throw those lightweight chassis with the wheels on them and the bearings back into your bag. So you just have the wheels and the bearings and those little chassis metal pieces that hold those wheels together in place, and those are what lock in and lock out of those boots after all. And that functionally makes just the little lightweight 2 chassis pieces able to be put into a bag, into a stowaway carry-on backpack, or a little side bag, purse, fanny pack even, conceivably, something small enough to just be able to go about your day very simply and get back into walking mode. And then when you want to, participate in the global dance, when you want to jump back into the global dance that's happening among this figure skating performance of all people being able to leverage the ability for rollerblades to be able to connect and click into their shoes, it becomes a global dance. It becomes a global dance where everybody, like a figure skating routine, gets to participate in the global dance of this global figure skating routine after all, and that everybody has the ability to dance to their own music and flow to their own music and flow and chime to their own sounds to be able to get down the street and go from one place to another. And ultimately, having this ability to travel from one place to another efficiently, effectively, and with a positive and pleasant experience in between from one side to the next, it also allows for getting philanthropy good deeds to happen at speed, at scale, around the whole world in a more significantly consistent fashion. Because if people can run in the form of skating from one place to another with speed, then they can do favors for people a lot faster as well. If certain people that are older, for example, need favors, for example, then people get a lot more time back. The amount of time that would be gained by the whole entire world if everybody in the world rollerbladed would be a significant time-saving experience. And that time could then be attributed and reinvested back into philanthropy and philanthropy energy. Philanthropy energy would be generated. Philanthropy energy could be generated all across the world from this figure skating dance all across the world that everybody in the world is conceptually participating in, because the methodology and the movement and the motion of figure skating and ice skating is in essence fluid with the essence of figure skating, which makes it an art form that's also a dance, and that dance is at the tune of a different frequency if everybody in the world is skating. So in essence, everybody is performing together. They're performing the movement and the motions of something that's more methodical, more interesting, more fluid, more flow-like. It's more flow-like with the potential of a dance, of a performance, if you will. And so everybody has this ability to get more time and have more energy to be able to do more for other people, and would want to volunteer their time more actively to do things and help other people, because they know that it's fun and enjoyable to be able to travel in this fashion, much more so enjoyable to be able to travel in this fashion than just walking in of itself. So that therefore would contribute to more philanthropy and more philanthropy energy and more problems being solved around the world, and more philanthropy energy going to the global philanthropy energy grid, more philanthropy energy going to the global philanthropy energy grid. And in addition, more animals that are living at home and staying at home would be able to be walked. More animals would want to be walked more readily. More animals could go outside and be walked more readily, and more happy animals would result. And then also more people would take on more animals from having more time to be able to accomplish their tasks, from saving more time walking. So in essence, more animals would be able to be cleared from the animal shelters. And we want to continue to clear the animals from the animal shelters. Clear the animals from the animal shelters, because in essence, we also want to be able to help people acknowledge that fostering animals from the animal shelters helps to clear the animal shelters as well, so we can continuously continue to dance around the world and do more philanthropy and rescue more animals from animal shelters, get more animals out of animal shelters, and foster shelter animals in addition to adopting shelter animals, to clear the shelters and hire more shelter animals to be healers among societies and throughout communities, to be able to help people to make this dance happen and be able to save more time by skating around the world and using our new shoes, our Ding Tech Change for Game shoes that clip on and are connective with ice skate rollerblades, in essence, ice skating technology and design in terms of the material, and then leveraging rollerblading to be able to get around in a more efficient, more fun, more effective manner from one place to another, from one side of town to another, and saving time and bringing more philanthropy energy to the global philanthropy energy grid, and also leveraging animals to hire animals to be able to get them to become healers, animals to become healers throughout communities all throughout the world. And we can leverage this dance, this global dance, all by becoming figure skaters, so the animals can dance with us in the streets as we all figure skate from one place to another, from one side to another, as we try to innovate and continue to innovate. Ding Tech Change for Games, Ding Tech Change for Game Studios, trying to innovate the essence of fashion and accessories a little bit more, once more, in today's podcast. And that's all for now. Thanks again, Ding Tech Change for Games, Ding Tech Change for Game Studios. Thanks again. Bye, peace, bye. Bye, peace, bye.